into it. So the solstice is an important time. I don't have a written verification, but I think you were the first to introduce the practice of the winter solstice back into the Western world, certainly into the Black world in the United States, back 50 years ago. You initiated that, and we're here tonight to gain an understanding of why you did that, why that was important, and what is in it for us. What does it mean to our lives?
Thank you very much. And I say peace and blessings to all of you who are present, sharing this lovely Tuesday evening with us in December 2023. And, when we step outside or inside our homes, turn on the radio and television, there is an excitement in the air. This time of the year, people in different cultures and different parts in the world following different spiritual systems and religions, there's a consensus that there's something special about this time of the year. The major religious and spiritual, holy days and holy observations and so on. And going through all of them, the thread that goes through all of them is this belief or knowledge or feeling that this time of the year, the winter solstice, or what others call the New Year on January 1st, or the winter solstice on December the 21st to the 24th. Some people a few weeks even before that, there is this consensus, spoken and unspoken, that this is the time of the year for the renewal of our lives. You see that? The renewal of our lives. People engage in different efforts to will or pledge, to change their lives. And the reason for this is explained differently in different spiritual systems according to their religious beliefs. But I'd like to give to you, a line of thinking, observations that were made by the Kamo, that goes to the ancient Egyptians, that this time of the year, you see, this feeling, this belief that it's a time of renewal, and renewal of your life comes from a biological clock, you see, in people's body, mind, and soul, a biology clock. That clock is known very well, in regards to its cycle of the period of the day, the circadian cycle. People have done a study of the circadian biological rhythm in man's being. They know that, for example, all of our, physical, psychical, and mental functions do not proceed at the same level throughout the day. There are times of the day when our blood pressure peaks, when it's highest, and then 12 years apart from that, 12 hours apart from that, it tanks, it hits bottom. The same thing goes for our breathing rate and volume. There are times of the day when we take in a greater amount of oxygen, and then 12 hours later, we take in less oxygen, even with the same effort. You see that? Our ability to memorize information is best around midday, for example, for long-term memory, and then for short-term memory, cramming is best in the mid-morning times. There's a better time for eating. Our digestive ability, changes throughout the day, cyclically. you know, eat late, and you will absorb more calories than if you ate early in the day, 12 hours apart, and so on. So it is very profitable to study the circadian rhythms, of our biological clock. What other people have studied and discovered is that they are biological and psychological clocks that operate on a higher period. You see that? Um, so the annual cycle, the cycle of the year, we have this understanding that at a certain point of every year there is a beginning of a new year. It's just not simply that time on the calendar has run off. It is this clock within us that is you know working with our capabilities, that's telling us that this time of the year is best for us to renew our body, our mind, our psyche. You see that our commitment to achieve things. That time of the year that's better for carrying out our projects, and time of the year that's best for us to compose those projects. This time of the year, for us to get more from our meditations, to get more from our efforts, and so on. And this is what people, the consensus over the millennia, thousands of years in different parts of the world, people have, noticed and agreed that this time of the year, around the end of December, actually specifically the winter solstice from December 21st to the 24th, is the beginning of a 3-month period of regeneration. The way that people today in this Western hemisphere, the way that they take advantage of the renewal of their minds and psyche to achieve new things or to achieve their goals is basically by making pledges. People pledge to change. People pledge to accomplish greater things, to be more disciplined, to be kinder. People make pledges to change their diet, to improve their health, and they renew their missions and their visions for success. There's this feeling that around the time of the winter solstice and January 1st for others, there's something within us that is more receptive to the pledge and the efforts to declare a change in our lives. But we all know too well that the mere act of pledging is not enough to make changes in our life. And people blame themselves, when their pledges and their vision for success in the new year does not come true. They says, "Oh, I did not keep up with my pledge. I did not live up to my pledge." You see, and the reason for that is that it's not enough for you to pledge to change, to be more disciplined and more successful, for that to take place. Any psychologist will tell you that for you to use the powers of your mind and your psyche, you see, to change your life, it will take more than pledging in one day or in one week. It will take more than just pledging to change your life. And the wisdom of the ages, and psychologists that have a good understanding of human nature, will all tell you that you need a very effective, and professional, procedure, set of things that you have to do, change certain ideas that you have to reformulate and assimilate and so forth, certain affirmations and meditations and things of that nature that you have to put in place in your mind in order to make these changes. So if you want in this 2024 year that's coming to do something that will enhance, truly enhance, for you, your efforts to improve your life, your health, your wealth, your social life, things of that nature. If you want to tap into that part of your mind and your psyche that others have discovered that is the repository of miraculous, powers and events. And believe me, there's such a thing as man making miracles by tapping into the powers of the mind. But the best time to do so is this period here, the so-called winter solstice and the New Year's. It's a time to tap in. That's when your psyche is most receptive to not only changing your life, but to manifest those miraculous powers, meaning, things through mental abilities and mental powers. But you will need a professional, well-crafted meditation program, because top of the list of things that you have to put in place, you see that in order to achieve your goals, no matter when you declare them, is to establish a relationship with God. Let's face it, man, we are limited in our ability to understand, to achieve things, to unite with each other. We are limited in our abilities, to our powers to actualize things. And, the teachings of the ages is that if you know how to unite and align yourself to be one with God, then God will be able to assist you in the realization of your goals. This is the foundation of spirituality and of, religion, your union with God. So we put together a course that leverages, the wisdom teachings that will enable you to unite with God, to be one with God, and that requires also for you to purify one of your 5 lower chakras called the Swadhisthana chakra, which is the dwelling place, of your psychic power. You see that? So, so if you want to make this year different from all the years where you pledge to change, we have put together a course, a 3-month course starting now. It's in place now. And if you spend at least 21 consecutive days of meditation with our system, you will see, important changes in your life. You will enhance your ability to make your pledges to improve your life a reality. There's so much that we can say to help you understand, what you need to do and what the winter solstice is all about. And I will take it from here in bits and pieces through questions and answers.
Yes. So, Shekhem Ur Shekhem, the course that you put together is very powerful and comprehensive. And one of the things that you say in the course is that success, we all want to be successful. As you said, this is a time of year when we're not only making pledges, we're setting goals to make more money or change our career or improve our relationship. We're looking for that worldly success. And one of the things that you said in the course is that the most important factor in being successful has to do with our identity, and that this is a time of year to either renew, if you already know, or to establish a different sense of our identity. Could you speak about that a little bit?
Yes, there are 2 sources of identification in man's being. One is the spirit, and the other one is the soul or the psyche. You see that? So the psyche, our psyche or our soul, has a program that is 500 million years old and has all the programs that enable, the different creatures that have been evolved on Earth to survive. So we have this tremendous, powerful influence within us that, makes up our instincts. It helps us to survive, but not as man and spiritual being, but to survive as humans and animal beings. You see that? So if we keep that identification, where we continue to say, well, I'm only human, I can't help myself, I'm a product of my emotions, my feelings, and so forth, then that identity, will doom you to failure. Above your psyche or your soul, you have the spirit, which is the repository of your divine powers. But your divine powers, your spiritual powers, you cannot work them by themselves. You have to work them at every stage of your life in unison with God. You see that? Okay. So, and people say, I believe in God, God dwells within me and I dwell in God's spirit and so forth. And I say, well, yes, but not yet. You have to do certain things in order for God to come and dwell within you, for you to dwell in God's spirit. It's not an automatic thing. If it were, then, any sinner and cruel and wicked person could achieve things through the help of God. No, God demands that you transcend your lower human self, you see, and adopt your divine identity, meaning your divine set of values, and laws, observe the laws, so you can empower your spirit to not to achieve things by yourself, but in concert with God. So this is the work that we are put these different courses where we have this winter solstice, and earlier this year we outdoored the Mount 11 Laws of God, where people learn how to awaken, all 11 parts of their spirit. So this is the important, work that must be done first.
And Shekhem Ur Shekhem, you speak about the divine identity, that it's not just a concept, an intellectual thing, like we could just think, because we walk around sometime and say, hey, God, or we're gods, or it's not just that there's actually a vehicle that supports the divine identity that we need to learn how to work with within the spirit.
Well, identity is the same as self-image. And if you go into psychology and you research self-image in psychology, they will tell you that self-image or your identity is a result of the set of ideas that you've cultivated about who you are and what kind of being you are. But that's not true. Your identity, your self-image, is the result of the working of the 11 spiritual faculties within you. You see that? So your divinity is not something that you can just simply, announce and claim because you know this and you believe in that. You have to do certain rituals and observe certain moral laws to awaken the spiritual faculties that oversee your divinity.